Learn English with simple stories. After listening, I will explain new words and give you questions to check your understanding. So, let's begin. Listen carefully. Two girls and the fateful flower festival. A long time ago, in a quiet village, lived a girl named Daisy. She lived with her mother in a small wooden house near the river. Daisy loved flowers more than anything in the world. She grew them with care, sang to them, and made the prettiest bouquets. Even nobles from the city came to buy her flowers. They said her bouquets were more lovely than royal gardens. Still, Daisy's heart was never truly happy. She wanted to open the most beautiful flower shop in the city. She dreamed of becoming one of the royalties living in the capital. One spring, a great flower festival was held in the royal capital. Daisy begged her mother to let her go and sell flowers there. Her mother smiled and nodded, and Daisy happily went to the capital. The city was bright, full of music, perfume, and colors. Daisy stood with her cart of flowers near the Golden Gate. Her stalls were filled with roses, lilies, and blossoms. People stopped to look at her work and whispered with amazement. "Look at these," one noble woman gasped. "Such beauty, so gorgeous." Everyone was surrounding and praising Daisy. Daisy bowed her head and thanked every customer. However, her heart still felt small. She watched the ladies in gowns, the men in silk coats. She saw the golden carriages, the shining shoes, the glowing jewels. Suddenly, someone stepped forward from the crowd. It was a normal girl dressed in a simple dress, her face covered with a hood. She pointed to the most expensive bouquet on Daisy's cart. Daisy hesitated. That was a pretty extravagant bouquet. A normal citizen could not afford it. "That one is a little expensive," Daisy said. "You may like something simpler." The girl smiled and took out a heavy bag of gold coins. Daisy stared in shock as she handed the girl her bouquet. Later that day, as the crowd faded, the same girl returned. She pulled back her hood and Daisy gasped. They looked exactly the same, like twins separated at birth. "I am Lady Jasmine," the girl said gently, "daughter of Count Fleur, heir to House Fleur." "Shh, don't tell anyone," she whispered with a grin. "It's my first time sneaking out in weeks." Life behind palace walls is grand, but oh, so boring. "I'm Daisy," Daisy replied, "just a florist from the Clover Village. I had to beg my mother to let me come here. The capital is so beautiful, it feels like a dream." They stared at each other in wonder. Same face, same eyes, same voice, yet two very different lives. Then Jasmine smiled with mischief in her eyes. "What if we trade places for 3 days?" she asked. "You can live my life, I will live yours." Daisy's heart jumped with excitement and fear. "But what if someone finds out?" she whispered. No one must know, Jasmine said. We'll meet again in 3 days. They shook hands, sealing their secret with smiles. Daisy arrived at the fleur estate as the sun set. The palace was quiet, grand, and filled with the scent of roses and cinnamon. A maid opened the golden doors and curtsied. "Welcome home, Lady Jasmine," she said softly. Soon 3 maids came to dress her. They washed her hands with rose water and tied a silk ribbon in her hair. A governess handed her a scroll. "Your schedule for tonight, my lady, please follow it exactly." Dinner was in a room with tall windows and golden chairs. When she picked up bread with her hands, someone gasped in shock. "Use the fork, Lady Jasmine," a servant whispered behind her chair. Then another servant whispered, "Please sit up straight, others are looking." Daisy's cheeks turned red as she looked down at her plate, suddenly losing her appetite. Everything was so beautiful, yet she felt like a flower in a glass box. The next evening, Daisy wore a silver gown for a grand palace ball. The ballroom sparkled with chandeliers and polished floors. People bowed and called her Lady Jasmine with smiles and praise. A nobleman took her hand. "May I have this dance, my lady?" he asked. She nodded shyly and followed his lead with grace. Her heart beat fast with excitement. At last, something fun was happening. She smiled and thought, maybe I do belong here after all. "You must love roses and tulips from the royal greenhouse," he said. "I prefer marigolds and daisies," she smiled. "They grow strong in all weather." The man blinked, clearly surprised by her answer. Their dance ended with a quiet bow and no more words. Daisy walked to the refreshment table and took a glass of juice. A noble woman beside her asked, "Jasmine, do you enjoy hunting trips like your father?" "Not really," Daisy said. "I prefer picking wildflowers. They make my heart happy." The woman covered her mouth and laughed. Daisy stood still, holding her drink tightly. She looked around the room full of lights, jewels, and chatter. People laughed, danced, and admired gowns, not stories. No one asked her what a lady loved or dreamed of. On the 3rd morning, servants rushed into Daisy's room. "The Prince of Camellia has arrived," one said. Daisy's heart jumped. She was led to the grand garden where a handsome prince waited. He bowed low. "My lady," he said, "your grace and beauty are unmatched." He reached for her hand and smiled gently, "According to our old family agreement, our wedding will be on the next full moon. There will be many feasts and events before that day. I hope you will enjoy them all with me." Daisy froze. She slowly nodded and whispered, "Yes, of course." But inside, her thoughts raced wildly. Does Jasmine even know about this arrangement? As she walked with the prince through the garden, Daisy thought about this royal life. "I wanted fancy clothes and grand halls, but why does it feel so heavy?" This life is a golden cage. Then a quiet truth bloomed inside her heart. What she truly wanted was not golden halls or fine dresses. It was the joy of living with her mother and planting flowers. It was the abundance and freedom to live her own life. That night, while everyone slept, Daisy packed her things quietly. She changed into simple clothes and slipped through the side gates. Soon, Jasmine arrived in a cloak, her steps soft and quiet. "You came," Daisy smiled and waved. They sat together on a bench beside the fountain and started sharing. "I tried your life," Jasmine said with a warm smile. "I felt free, simple, and safe. The people were kind and real. But I missed the rhythm of the palace," she added. "The music, the lessons, the elegance, it is still part of me." Daisy nodded slowly. "I also tried your world. I saw beauty, gold, and praise, but I also felt lost. I now know my dream clearly," she said, smiling. "To live freely and grow beauty with my own two hands." They looked at each other and laughed softly. Daisy reached into her basket and took out a golden flower. "This is for you," she said. "I hope it stays alive until your wedding day." Jasmine's eyes softened. "That means so much to me." She handed Daisy a small, elegant card. "It's an invitation," Jasmine smiled. "Please come to my wedding. I want you there." They stood and hugged tightly, two girls with one face, but two very different dreams. Weeks later, Daisy returned to her village and kept growing thousands of beautiful flowers. Every morning, she woke to birds, sun, and blooming petals. Daisy sang while she worked, her heart light as the wind. She had gained something priceless from her journey, a friend, a truth. Riches fade, but being yourself shines forever. Happiness is not in living a life that is not yours. It is in loving the life that truly belongs to you. Let me explain some new words from these stories. Daisy. Daisy. Jasmine. Jasmine. Bouquet. Bouquet. Nobles. Nobles. Royal. Royal. Capital. Capital. Festival. Festival. Cart. Cart. Amazement. Amazement. Gowns. Gowns. Carriages. Carriages. Jewels. Jewels. Hesitate. Hesitate. Whisper. Whisper. Sneaking. Sneaking. Chandelier. Chandelier. dance, dance. Blink, blink. Wildflowers, wildflowers. Whisper, whisper. Prince, prince. Feast, feast. Fountain, fountain. Lastly, let's answer the following questions. Question 1. Why did Daisy want to go to the capital? Answer: because she wanted to sell flowers at the royal festival. Question 2. What made Daisy's flowers special? Answer: they were very beautiful, more beautiful than royal gardens. Question 3. Who was the girl that bought Daisy's most expensive bouquet? Answer: Lady Jasmine, daughter of Count Fleur. Question 4. What did Jasmine suggest to Daisy? Answer: to trade places for 3 days. Question 5. Why did Daisy feel uncomfortable at the palace dinner? Answer: because she was not used to the royal manners. Question 6. What shocked Daisy in the garden with the prince? Answer: he said their wedding was already arranged. Question 7. What did Daisy realize at the end of the story? Answer: that she wanted a free and simple life with her mother and her dream. Today's story is very meaningful, right? Do you like listening to short stories? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment on what you would like to learn next. See you next time. Goodbye.